Welcome to Leadership in Action, the podcast where we explore how bold leadership, strategic thinking, and purposeful action are shaping the future of our region. I'm Dr. Vishnu Durga, and in this episode, we're joined by Sultan Dinool, the country manager of Elgawa Guyana, a company that's quickly become a vital player in Guyana's technical services and energy support sectors. Sultan's leadership journey is one that embodies adaptability, entrepreneurial thinking, and value creation in emerging markets. At the helm of a company delivering electrical and mechanical services across critical sectors from power generation to HVAC and medical systems, he has led Elgawa's expansion with precision, even securing local content certification to support Guyana's national development goals. In today's conversation, we'll dive deep into the real-time decisions and challenges faced by leaders like Sultan in high-growth sectors. Now, let's get into the conversation. Sultan, welcome to the podcast. To get you kicked off, can you describe the experiences or influences in your upbringing or early career that most shaped who you are today as a leader and as an entrepreneur?
All right. To begin with, first of all, thank you for having me and a special good afternoon, especially to everyone who is watching the podcast. This question is quite simple. Some persons would say they don't like this what I'm going to say, but I'm a product of my environment. And one of the things that shaped how I am and how I approach leadership is how I grew up. I born and bred in All Boys Town. My family is still there. I still frequent there quite often. Of course, it is not the, let's say, best place when it comes to raising a child. By no means I'm saying that I grew up in a hostile environment or it wasn't a good environment. What it did, it taught me so much. And one of the things that it really taught me is to be authentic. Authentic leadership is very important to me. It's one of the most important things that I take to Elgawa. And many of my teammates, not many, all of my teammates can say that what you see is what you get with Sultan. Especially how I am speaking to you here, this is how I speak with everyone and anyone. And when it comes to leadership, you're molded by your experiences. And of course, my environment, as I mentioned, played a very important part of that.
So you did mention a little bit of your childhood, where you grew up. What is a pivotal challenge that you've been able to overcome and maybe a turning point in your own journey? How did you overcome it and what lessons did you get from it?
In my opinion, in my journey, there was no one pivotal turning point. There are constant challenges. I'm now in my 30s, and every year you get challenges. Of course, there are some challenges that are at a higher degree than others. And the important thing is to learn from it. And of course, part of when I started coaching at Action Coaching, and well, you as my mentor, mentorship is very important. So working through the challenges that come up, especially the ones that are really bothering you or bothered you at that time, is to learn from those challenges, find the solution, and make sure that you don't repeat them. And that is how I approach many of the challenges that I come up with every day. Every day you have challenges.
So you have a coach. Have you always had coaches in your life?
Yes. I would never put other coaches other than my parents or any other coach that I will have and currently have above my parents. My parents, both of them, one of them passed away a couple of years ago. I have my mother with me. They were my first coaches. They have taught me through experiences. A lot of times we were in blackouts. And a lot of time I learned a lot of things by just listening to their conversations. And they really coached me unknowingly to where I am today. And of course, now I've added to that repertoire. I have you as my mentor and coach. And for about 5 years, I would say 5 years plus currently, in which the changes has been dramatic, especially when it comes to my thinking and mindset. And now that I'm leading a company, this has played an integral part and an integral role in how I think and how I carry myself daily.
Do you feel a sense of irony because you mentioned when you're younger having to deal with those blackouts, now being in a company that provides power and protection against blackouts? Was that part of your pathway?
Not, it is ironic. It is ironic. I know our blackouts are getting better. Let's just say that we're getting less and less blackouts, and I know there are provisions that government is making to reduce this. But definitely, I was not led to be an engineer. My first career was being a lawyer. I attended the Bishop's High School, and naturally, we at the BHS, we're arts oriented. And actually, it is the best law school in the country. I can attest to that. And so I was led there. And then it happened in fourth or fifth form. I realized, you know what? I have an affinity for technical knowledge. And then I made that career path. And I switched. So here I am now.
So maybe the blackouts did have an influence.
It did. It
So
did.
I think besides that, maybe to just touch on the coaching component again, how would you describe what coaching is? Because a lot of people use it now. In the past, people used to talk about training and mentoring. I think we've played a part over the last 10 years of making the word coaching very popular, business coaching in particular. How would you define it and how would you describe what it actually is?
In the simplest terms for persons to understand who have not been a part of the coaching experience, it's in essence guidance. And the guidance does not come from the person who is quote unquote coaching you. It comes from yourself. So the purpose of the coach is to literally have you as the person give that path to the answer that you want and literally to be a guide. And it might sound simple, but it's very important and it's very powerful. And it's something that more and more, especially entrepreneurs, managing businesses, and now that because of oil and gas, companies are growing at an unprecedented rate, coaching is very important.
I would also ask, especially for our audience, what are some of the personal values that you hold so dearly that guide your decisions, not just to get a coach, but to also keep you really focused on where you want to go? What are the values that really drive you?
It comes back to, again, values that were instilled in me from growing up, from early childhood. And authenticity is very important to me, especially when you're managing and leading persons, because this is in the context of leadership, authentic leadership, in my opinion, and servant leadership. Authentic leadership is you being you and doing your best to lead that company. And of course, servant leadership is you as a leader, though in the organizational chart you're at the top, it doesn't mean that everything is managed by you and you're the only person making decisions. Servant leadership is listening to everyone else in the company and making decisions based on that. So those type of leadership types I practice a lot. And of course, one of the major attributes as well is being trustworthy. It's something I work on daily. It's something I speak about in our business. And honesty and trustworthiness is something it's quite difficult to manage. And it's an attribute that I work on daily to become an authentic leader and to be a servant leader.
And that's interesting, the amount of development that happens internally in a company. We're also in a region and in a country where there's a lot of external development. Some people would see it as challenges, some people see it as opportunities. What do you actually see as the trends affecting your particular industry, and where are you having it take your company?
But the obvious one is because of the oil and gas boom in the country. Multiple companies in various sectors are having major booms. Especially us in engineering, we're a solutions company. One of the words that we use for our company is that we offer comfort solutions. Not only backup solutions or power solutions, it's comfort. A lot of what we bring to the market, both locally and regionally, is that we offer persons to be quite comfortable wherever they are, whether in their homes, businesses, industries, whatever the case is. A trend is definitely the rate of change at which technology is moving. And of course, AI is playing an integral part of that. And this is something that we are now using within our company. Worldwide, AI is playing a major role. I see AI as a positive. Persons can debate whether AI is positive or negative, the pros and cons of it. Especially for technical industries, AI is making getting results much faster. Efficiency has gone through the roof using AI. And this is one of the major trends that is shaking up the entire technical industry, including engineering. And we are using it to our advantage. We're using it in our business for various calculations to be done much faster, for example. When it comes to challenges, in my opinion, there will always be challenges. The bigger the business, you have bigger challenges, and you use the technology at hand to overcome those challenges.
I think that speaks to the innovative way of being able to really drive growth in an organization. How do you define and measure success or growth in the organization, and what impact do you see that having on the community and the country?
Success at Elgawa, and for me personally, yes, one of the major success factors that we look at is financial. I mean, yes, it is very important because this is what runs a business. For us at Elgawa, the culture is very important. We look at, there is the brain side of the company, there is the heart side of the company. Many companies locally, sad to say, we look at only the brain side, which is mostly the financial aspect. Because of coaching, especially from you and mentorship, we are heavily focused on the hard side of the company. And this is culture. And at Elgawa, culture is important because in our part of the world, we as a Caribbean region, in my estimation, this is not something that we focus on even at schools. In other parts of the world, be it the European countries or the American countries, they focus heavily on interpersonal relationships. They focus on communication. And sadly, in my opinion, this is something that is lacking in Guyana itself. Communicating, basic daily communication to move things along, to get things done, is not at where it should be. At Elgawa's success for us is changing that culture, especially in our company, to ensure we have effective communication so that we can work comfortably and we can get tasks done efficiently.
You're also touching on one of the biggest challenges I hear a lot of companies talking about, which is a lack of talent in this market. And so it's interesting that you also mention the importance of culture and paying attention to the heart of the organization. What would you say about your team and the way your team works as compared to what you may see happening in the market? And maybe as a follow-up on that, why should people want to work at Elgawa?
At our company, we are always looking at making everyone in their department better. And it starts with their personal development. All of us, I'm a part of a team. I'm the country manager. We have multiple other departments. Highly important at our company is personal development. Actually, I would even go as far as saying first and foremost, this is one of the major KPIs that we look at, whether it be academic development, whether it be interpersonal development. For example, one of the things when multiple persons, especially they come from different, whether it be the other private sector, whether it be the public sector, they see that noticeable change when they come and work with us because of the high level of accountability that we have. Yes, we have task-oriented duties, which is only on the business. At Elgawa, we focus on a lot of personal academic duties as well. So you're not building only professional knowledge, you have to build academic knowledge. And every day we work daily to make our team better. We know a lot of companies, I have a lot of friends who are leading companies, and they say, the talent pool that we're pulling from right now is terrible and it's not good and things like that. We have to look at, we're literally a young economy, we're a young country, even in terms of independence. And something like the oil and gas, which is brand new to the company, we need that time to develop and change the mindset, especially when it comes to academics. A lot of the companies now need to be looked at as educational institutions as well. And this is something that we look at. We know for a fact that persons coming into our company, they will not have the requisite knowledge to work in the industries that we are now going into as a country. One of the things that we do is, again, personal development, academic development, and training. So we hire the right persons, we do our best to hire the right persons, and we do our best to then train those persons to be the best persons, both professionally and personally, to fit in our culture.
Very good. And we now have like a quick fire round of questions that will really allow younger entrepreneurs, younger leaders to really learn key nuggets that you can present to them. So what's a mindset shift that you want to offer to current leaders that they need to go through in order to make a difference in Guyana or the Caribbean?
The first thing comes to mind is communication and effective communication. Effective communication only happens when you get a response from that person. And especially in leadership, in entrepreneurship, communicating what you want or what needs to be done effectively is one of the most important. It sounds simple. It is one of the most important things and one of the biggest challenges right now, especially with a lot of my friends, because I can speak from personal experiences. A lot of the troubles that we have as leaders and as managers is we do not communicate effectively what needs to be done, and we expect persons to know. So one of the first things that you need to work on, and we as leaders need to work on, is a simple thing as how to communicate effectively to other persons within an organization.
Very good. What daily habits or routines do you credit for keeping you productive, grounded, and continuously learning?
Well, this is easy. What helps with me is scheduling. And this is something I learned, I really focused on, and I really learned from action coaching. And you as my mentor, you know, this is something that we work on every coaching session is show me your calendar. And this is something that keeps me highly productive. It is something at Elgawa which we work on every day as well. Map out what you want and see it, because most of us, majority of us as human beings are visual learners. If we see what we have to do and you have it on your phone or you have it on your computer where it's always at your eyesight, it helps you to not worry what needs to happen next. So scheduling is one of the most important things.
If you could go back in time to Alboystown during a blackout, what is one piece of advice you would give to your younger self?
I would say is get a coach or mentor much earlier, especially when it comes to business. A lot of us don't realize that no matter the profession that we go in, you need business knowledge, you need entrepreneurial knowledge. And in my opinion, getting a mentor early, getting a coach, even a business coach, life coach, early, someone that can guide you, who have done it and who has excelled at it, is very important.
Very good. How do you balance your personal life and well-being with the demands of leadership?
This is mostly from tools. I am a big believer in academics. I enjoy knowledge sharing. I enjoy learning. I enjoy being malleable. You know, you can adapt. And one of the things that helps me is using the tools that are available to have that work-life balance. It's very important to have that work-life balance because the more mentally you are away from the job, for example, your mind is not always on the job. Your mind should be on family. It can be on tasks that you enjoy. You get to think better. You get to make better decisions. You don't make decisions emotionally. You know, you make it pragmatically, you know, whatever you need to do. So using the management tools that we have, and of course, the more you read, the more you know. So I am doing my MBA right now. As an engineer, I'm trained as an engineer. I'm now transitioning into leadership. I'll most likely move on to my PhD. And the more I learn and tools that I'm learning right now in my program, I'm using it, and that is helping me to balance the work and balance life, and it is helping to make decisions clearly in both of them.
You touched a little bit on it in terms of your future academically. And if you look ahead 5 to 10 years from now, what impact do you expect to leave in your field and on this community?
But these are things that are currently being mapped out. As I mentioned, I enjoy interpersonal relationships. I enjoy teaching. This is something actually at the University of Guyana that was honed. One of the things, and a lot of my friends, if they're seeing the podcast, they can attest to this, that I was one of the persons when we finished a lecture class, I had to go to the board and then we reteach and break it down into a way that all of us could understand. And I ensured, along with some of my other colleagues, that all of us moved through the different levels to pass. And I think that is where one of my love for teaching and knowledge sharing happens. So I can definitely see within the next 5 years, I do plan to lecture. I first want to gain the knowledge. And of course, I first want to do it so that I can now positively say, yes, I have done this and actually make teaching happen. So in the field that I'll be in, which is mostly communication, which is mostly leadership, this is something I plan to lecture, I plan to teach, and of course I need to learn more and always be learning. So that's where I see myself in within the next 5 years, that type of legacy, lecturing and teaching.
What's a question that I did not ask of you that would be useful information for other people to know? What did we miss and what did you want to share?
One of the things is most of the times when I travel for business, at this level, I'm usually one of, if not the youngest person in the room. So I would say a good question would be, as a young person at this level, I know work-life balance, we did speak of it, but how do you manage being at this age and at this level? I go now because of the opportunities given, especially because of what the country is going through. Guyana, multiple persons are representing Guyana in the world stage, and we are in rooms 10 years, 20 years ago, we would have never thought we would have been in. And I am in rooms right now, butting heads and rubbing shoulders with persons who have 30 years of experience and leading Fortune 500 companies. I would say definitely one of the things is to not let it weigh on your mind. You have to tell yourself you are here for a reason. Self-confidence is very important. As a leader, if you don't have self-confidence, that lack of self-confidence, it then goes to other person and trickles through the company. As a leader, you have to have that confidence. A lot of times when I am in sessions, I've been giving presentations in Mexico, I've been giving international presentations. If you don't have that confidence and you don't give information that is actually factual, it will tell on you. So as a person, a young person, as a developing person, as a future leader of the country, definitely you need to work on self-confidence and work on knowledge and knowledge building, so that you can speak positively, and you should know what you're speaking about, in essence, and don't let age define what the information that you're sharing.
I know that in the future, you also plan to develop your own family. I know that this podcast is particularly for leaders who are seeking the guidance from developing leaders like yourself. I want you to just think back to young Sultan and all the folks who are sitting here who may have kids and the kids who may be watching this podcast. And as particular, you coming from both a technical and a business background. You mentioned AI, you see where the world is going. What would be your advice to the youngsters looking at this, at young Sultan looking at this, that you would like to communicate to them so that they can make really good choices as they now head into the world that we see as a reality?
So what I would say, I know you meant young Sultan, younger Sultan, because I'm still young Sultan. I would say, and it's something that I wish I had at secondary school age, because I believe that's one of the places or one of the ages where you really don't know where you want to go. And getting career guidance is very important. In my opinion, we still need to be better at guiding persons into a career path. And for example, while I was making my switch, if I had career guidance actively, I mean, yes, your parents can do so much, especially if they're not, highly educated persons and things like that. They won't really give you the type of guidance that you can get from persons who are actively dealing with those things. I would say get career guidance early so that you don't waste a lot of your time and then realize I'm not happy here. I want to make that switch. I've seen that multiple times. I've seen that with a lot of interns coming to our company. They realize, you know what, I really don't like this. And then they have to now choose a different path again and they waste those years. I mean, they can still use the knowledge earned or gained. I would definitely say do your best to speak to persons to give you career guidance. I would say as early as fourth, fifth form, start to speak about these things. The schools should actually introduce, in my opinion, these type of counseling sessions and things like that. Not only personal counseling, but career guidance and career counseling. That's very important. So that's what I would say. Definitely ask about career guidance so that you can, at a very young age, you can be one of the best in your field and positively impact the country.
Very good. I did touch a little bit in the beginning about Elgawa. I would also ask you to maybe share why should people reach out to your company and what can they expect to benefit from?
So at Elgawa, it's electrical, gas, and water. So those are the three main disciplines that we work in. I did mention before that we are a solutions company and we work at comfort solutions. Now, our first priority is to make our clients and customers very happy. And we work with a lot of systems, and the technology that we work with, that we supply, maintain, and install is cutting edge, it's up to date, and we value innovation. We've been in Suriname since 1958. We've started in Guyana in 2016, 2017 with myself, and ever since then, we've been growing and growing and growing. And I'm not saying we're the best company. We do our best. And every day we do our best to get better. And of course, to be a part of the change, especially the technical changes that are happening in this country, especially when it comes to infrastructure, when it comes to basic necessities like electricity and water and the gas to shore project. We're actively involved in multiple projects that will benefit this country actually for years to come. And we're playing a major role in that, and we're doing our best every day to be better and better at doing this.
Very good. So with that, I would like to thank you for participating in this episode. Again, a sincere thank you to Sultan, Country Manager of Elgawa Guyana, for generously sharing his leadership journey and sector insights, from ensuring compliance to the technical standards that they abide by, to ensuring that he leads the team to develop their own skills and serve Guyana in a very impactful way. Sultan has shared many lessons that I would encourage you to apply. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, share it with your network. We are very excited to continue showcasing leaders who are building the future of Guyana and the Caribbean. So until next time, stay inspired and keep leading with purpose.